goddamn monsoons! Motherfuck climate change!
In the last 5 years, our country has fought through the most challenging times since the Second World War. As I stand here as your Prime Minister, I can't help but reflect that my first proper introduction to you was just over 4 years ago. I stood behind one of the podiums, upstairs in the building behind me. I told you that we faced a generation-defining moment, and that we as a society would not be judged by some government action, but by the small acts of kindness that we showed one another. You met that challenge, and then some, and I have never been prouder to be British. And when I introduced the furlough scheme, I did so not because I saw a country simply in need of desperate help, albeit we were, but because I saw a country whose future hung in the balance. I could be bold and trust in the tens of millions of you at home that you would rise to the moment. Or I could accept the inevitable, millions of job losses, and pick up the pieces. In truth, it was no choice at all. I have never and will never leave the people of this country to face the darkest of days alone. And you know that because you've seen it. As I did then, I will forever do everything in my power to provide you with the strongest possible protection I can. That is my promise to you. Because for so many of us, it's easy to forget the scale of what we've been through. We were hit by a pandemic that upended normal life. Who would have thought that the government would ever tell us how many times a day we could leave our homes? Then, just as we were recovering from COVID, war returned to Europe, with Putin's invasion of Ukraine sending your energy bills spiralling. I came to office, above all, to restore economic stability. Economic stability is the bedrock of any future success, whether that is rising wages and good jobs, investment in our public services, or the defence of the country. And because of our collective sacrifice and your hard work, we have reached 2 major milestones in delivering that stability, showing that when we work together, anything is possible. Our economy is now growing faster than anyone predicted, outpacing Germany, France, and the United States. And this morning it was confirmed that inflation is back to normal. This means that the pressure on prices will ease and mortgage rates will come down. This is proof that the plan and priorities I set out are working. I recognise that it has not always been easy. Some of you will only just be starting to feel the benefits, and for some, it might still be hard when you look at your bank balance. But this hard-earned economic stability was only ever meant to be the beginning. The question now is how, and who do you trust to turn that foundation into a secure future for you, your family, and our country? Now is the moment for Britain to choose its future. To decide whether we want to build on the progress we have made or risk going back to square one with no plan and no certainty. Earlier today, I spoke with His Majesty the King to request the dissolution of Parliament. The King has granted this request, and we will have a general election on the 4th of July.
Whether you're in England, Wales, Scotland, or Northern Ireland, this election is about one thing: the future. COVID shut down our economy and threatened our NHS. The war in Ukraine pushed up energy bills and inflation. Over the last year and a half, it's been my job to fix those problems. Record funding for the NHS, inflation down from 11% to 2.3%, taxes cut, and pensions protected. That's a plan that's working. And on the other hand, Keir Starmer, he's had 5 years to tell us what he stands for, and still no one knows what he would do. A clear plan with bold action for a secure future. Or back to square one with no plan with Labour. That's the choice of this election.
My dad was a toolmaker.
Good morning. I will shortly be seeing His Majesty the King to offer my resignation as Prime Minister. To the country, I would like to say first and foremost, I am sorry. I have given this job my all, but you have sent a clear signal that the government of the United Kingdom must change, and yours is the only judgment that matters. I have heard your anger, your disappointment, and I take responsibility for this loss. To all the Conservative candidates and campaigners who worked tirelessly but without success, I'm sorry that we could not deliver what your efforts deserved. It pains me to think how many good colleagues who contributed so much to their communities and our country will now no longer sit in the House of Commons. I thank them for their hard work and their service. Following this result, I will step down as party leader, not immediately, but once the formal arrangements for selecting my successor are in place. It is important that after 14 years in government,
I suppose what's called is American Army,
but also
hotshot pilot.
that it takes up its crucial role
Unfortunately, you were shot down anyway.
professionally and effectively. When I first stood here as your Prime Minister, I told you the most important task I had was to return stability to our economy. Inflation is back to target, mortgage rates are falling, and growth has returned. We have enhanced our standing in the world, rebuilding relations with allies, leading global efforts to support Ukraine, and becoming the home of a new generation of transformative technologies. And our United Kingdom is stronger too, with the Windsor Framework, devolution restored in Northern Ireland, and our union strengthened. I'm proud of those achievements. I believe this country is safer, stronger, and more secure than it was 20 months ago. And it is more prosperous, fairer, and resilient than it was in 2010. Whilst he has been my political opponent, Sir Keir Starmer will shortly become our Prime Minister. In this job, his successes will be all our successors, and I wish him and his family well. Whatever our disagreements in this campaign, he is a decent, public-spirited man who I respect.
So we are both
He
grounded
and
for
his
the
family
duration of the war.
deserve the very
So
best
many
of our
years up,
understanding
say to me,
as they
wow.
make the huge transition
You're even shorter
day
in real
in,
life.
day out,
to
deliver
be a leader
for the British people.
jobs
and
in an increasingly
I think it will make a difference to people.
I'd like to thank my
I-
colleague. We must hold true to that idea of who we are. That vision of kindness, decency, and tolerance that has always been the British way. This is a difficult day, at the end of a number of difficult days. But I leave this job honoured to have been your Prime Minister. This is the best country in the world, and it is thanks entirely to you, the British people, the true source of all our achievements, our strengths, and our greatness. Thank you.
I saw the sun begin to dim and felt that winter wind blow cold. A man learns who is there for him when the glitter fades and the walls won't hold. 'Cause from that rubble what remains can only be what's true. If all was lost, there's more I gained 'cause it led me back to you.
I drank champagne with kings and queens. The politicians praised my name. But those were someone else's dreams, the pitfalls of the man I became. For years and years, I chased their cheers, a crazy speed of always needing more. But when I stop and see you here, I remember who all this was for. And from now on, these eyes will not be blinded by the lights. From now on, watch waited till tomorrow starts tonight. It starts tonight. And where the years promise in me start, like an anthem in my heart. From now on, from now these eyes will not be blinded by the lights. Let's wait until tomorrow starts tonight. It starts tonight. Let the promise in me start, like an anthem in my heart. From
The damage was done long before Rishi took over. Rishi Sunak is a decent man and well respected on a personal level across the political spectrum.
A leader who, 1. Starts his final message with, "I am sorry," recognizing his limitations. 2. Brings his wife to the car first before he enters, who is a real gentleman. A leader as such received my full salute and applause. As I read the other comments, his time was too short, and he entered in the most difficult time that only time will define what UK has lost. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister.
The people of the UK complain every day, but I don't want to be one of those people who complain and insult Rishi until the very end. I want to at least smile and be kind to him and be grateful for his achievements. This is my true feelings.
He became PM when the economy was sinking at massive rate. He had to do a lot of work to even manage it out of recession. I don't think he deserves the hate he gets.
He did his best. He was given leadership over a wrecked party. Cameron, Boris, and Liz failed the voters and the country. Rishi was never given a fair chance. In other circumstances he would be a great PM. But in the chaos made by his party and his predecessors, it was not his time. Labour will ruin the country even more, but it's understandable why they have won. Thank you, Rishi, for your service. Mr. Rishi Sunak is the kind of leaders that the United States of America and many other countries desperately needs. Thank you, Mr. Sunak.
He was way better than Boris and Liz by miles. He was given a sinking ship, and everyone expected smooth sailing too quick.